Cole here from the Grand Duchy of Ebonmarch. So today I'm going to go over barbarians. So we're going to do a barbarian one-on-one class and just go over a little bit of stuff. I'm not going to go into great details about what spell to do this and when to do that. Just the general basis of barbarian and how to play it, and would you even like to play it. So barbarian, it is a great class for a lot of new people to come into the game. I recommend personally Warrior as the #1 class to come in the game. Barbarian is kind of #2 because you have such versatility of what weapons you can use, and also it teaches you kind of the fundamentals of the game pretty easily without you being shut down as much as, say, playing a warrior. So, what is a barbarian? So barbarians in Amtgard, you see a lot of people. There's just a lot of people who are really good at costuming. Usually play barbarian, so a lot of furs, Conan-esque type of stuff going on. So you get a lot of furs. A lot of people go shirtless, stuff like that. Hey, it's a great class. I personally mainly rock this for most things. So barbarian, the main thing I like to stress about barbarian, anytime I have people play it for the first time, is safety. You always want to have your safety equipment. That's the main thing to think about as a barbarian, because unlike warrior, where you're wearing a whole bunch of armor, maybe a helm, stuff like that, like I said, warrior in that one-on-one class, I still want you to have safety equipment. But barbarian, you're not going to have as much stuff on your physical body. So taking up poles, you're still a frontline warrior. I'm still a frontline fighter. So you're still going to be taking shots, poles, a lot of stuff like that. So, like I said, warrior, I recommend having Mouthguards. I like this type of Mouthguard. Do not remember the name of it off the top of my head, but this one allows me to still pop it in and still be able to talk. So you can still be able to talk, cast, stuff like that with that. And also, hand protection. I highly recommend hand protection for basically any class you're playing in general. I like MMA style gloves. They'll leave your fingers a little open, but I like those. A lot of people have hockey gloves that have a full hand protection. Cut protection, and also I prefer to have knee protection, because you're going to be taking a lot of knees, and Amtgard no longer longevity of your knees' health. It helps you play for longer in the game in general. So, barbarians. So let's see here. So with barbarian, you're already immune to command and subdue. So that affords you a lot of things that, as a warrior, you cannot do. You can do compared to a warrior. So, for example, basically everything a healer throws at you, you can kind of ignore. But like I said, I'm not going to go into super detail about all that. Barbarian, you're a lot of people, there's different roles you can kind of play as a barbarian. So, similar to warrior, you can still be a frontline fighter. Granted, you're not going to be wearing as much armor as a warrior, so keep that in mind. So there's a lot of people who are frontline fighters, so you're not going to be as tanky as a, say, warrior, but you can be tanky, say, if there's a bunch of casters who have subdue and command against you. You can ignore them. You see a lot of barbarians who are flankers, because, hey, you still got 3 points of armor, you can still flank around the side, because you're afforded all melee weapons. What else? Mind the fact, the big thing to think about as a barbarian is what does affect you. So, because a lot of stuff in the game is subdue and command, you get to ignore a good portion of stuff. But keep in mind, will I still be affected by that wizard? Probably. Will I still be affected by that bard? Will I still be affected by this healer putting out a stun? Yeah. It's a good class to start off in the game in. It's a good class, say, if you want to change out a warrior. Basically, I went from warrior, healer to barbarian. Um, it's a good class. And as a barbarian, a lot of stuff, because you can ignore command subdual and certain things you get, you can be a lot. You can have a more anti-caster type of role also, especially allowing things like fight after death. That is where, as a barbarian, you need to think of your role in, because everybody's worried about your fight after death. Everyone's worried about what are the few things that you can do and what you're already ignoring. Because command and subdual stuff usually is lower level, a lot of people have a lot of command and subdual spells. So, you can run I'm sort of a tank, I'm sort of a flanker, or you can run I am anti-caster for the team. That's the main reason why I like playing barbarian, because depending on what's out there, hey, I can hunt down healers all day. Hey, I can hunt down druids for the most part. I can hunt down this or that, and I can still fight out with a warrior, mainly because of berserk. So, for example, me as a barbarian, I'm fighting against a warrior. Say he doesn't have ancestral armor. If you were a better fighter, because it always comes down to fighting, you know, heck, regardless of whatever class you're playing, comes down to, or you're a better fighter, caster, whatever, you can pick apart a warrior faster than any other class can, because you're armor breaking. You're swinging for armor breaking. So, which is great. So that leads, that also leads you to being anti a lot of other classes. So say, for example, you have assassins on the field. Assassins got a couple points of armor out there. Hey, 1-2 hits, he has no more armor. Hey, another barbarian I'm fighting against. 1 or 2 hits, he has no more armor. Hey, a bard who has armor. Hit, brutal strike. Hey, he's done for. It's a great class for anti-armor, seeing that so many things in this game can have so much armor. So, like I said, you can fight a warrior for 6 points. As long as you can pick him apart quicker, you can get rid of his armor faster than any other class can. You know, granted, barring enchantments, blah blah blah. So it is an anti-armor class also. So it's a great class to start off with. But the main thing, like I stressed with warrior, is you need to be able to get those shots. So it can be one of the hardest classes to play, because if I am not actually hitting you with that sword, then I am being pointless on the field. You know, sure, not pointless. You have intimidation factors, and I can shut out certain area factors, and this group over here may be afraid of fight after death or whatever if it's activated. But even still, with something like fight after death, if you're fighting against certain people who know what they're doing, they're going to hit your legs, or they're going to get an arm and a leg. They're going to make it so that your fight after death is going to be pointless. So, as a barbarian, your main thing is you still need to be able to hit your target. So it can be a very hard class if you don't know actually how to hit. So, but still, like I said, I recommend that class. It's great. You get to ignore a lot of stuff. And then, you know, say, you know, granted you don't get to ignore it as much as a monk does, but you get to ignore a lot of stuff in the game. Like I said, it's just a 101. I'm not going to go into super detail about the barbarian. And eventually I'm going to do a 102, 10, 103, whatever. And go into a little more details about each skill and spell you get, and the pros and cons and when to use them. But yeah, so like I said, it's Cole from Ebonmarch. Keep fighting.